but also established John in the wealthy Marmor family, where he was given private tutoring. Gerard contributed John's share of the expense. Here John would become polished, self-assured, and independent. Claude Marmor would remain a lifelong friend. In 1523, Noyon was visited by a dreadful plague. Fearing for John's life, Gerard sent him to Paris with the Marmors. He was then about the age of 13. He probably stayed at the home of his uncle Richard Calvin on Rue Valette. The house remains to this day. At the Collège de la Marche, John and the Marmor boys began the preparatory courses for an arts degree, the study of Latin grammar. Here John had the good fortune to sit under the tutelage of one of the greatest Latin teachers, Mathurin Cordier, whose Latin grammar was still being used at the beginning of the 19th century.
God gave you to me for a little while to teach me the true way to learn, so that I might continue with greater profit. I enjoyed your teaching, only for a little space, since we were soon moved up by that stupid man who directed our studies according to his whim.
After a frustrating year, John graduated to the College of Montaigu, part of the University of Paris. Here he began his course in philosophy. Montaigu was a college of quite a different character, a kind of educational monastery, operating under the most strict and severe regulations. Principal Tempet had the reputation of whipping boys for the slightest infraction.
I trust that you have searched your consciences long and hard to ferret out any sins. We will now begin our public confessions. Master Marmor, you will begin.
Sir, I sinned grievously by losing my temper. I carelessly spilled the wine at table, and it soiled my habit. I cursed the wine and banged my fist on the table.
Aha! Who will be the first to denounce Master Marmor?
I, monsieur.
Well, go to it.
Spilling precious wine, eh? And cursing the innocent wine for your own carelessness. You will receive no wine for a week.
Calvin had such a horror of sin. He would often reprimand his fellow students with such severity that he was nicknamed the accusative case. Nevertheless, he became their conscience and duty.
Just have some patience, boy.
Food was scanty.
Please pass the wine.
The precious wine was actually of very cheap quality, topped off with water. The only meal of the day was served at 11 a.m., consisting of bread, boiled fruit, a few vegetables, and part of a herring. Theology students received a whole herring. Daily routine began at 4 a.m. with a 2-hour lecture before morning mass. After the midday meal, there were Bible readings, prayers, questions on the morning lecture, more classes and discussions. After Vespers, bedtime was at 8 o'clock. The strict regimen left little time for recreation or socializing. Young Calvin followed the routine with discipline and hard work. It did not take long for his teachers to realize that he had the makings of a brilliant priest. By age 16,